Yeah.
Yes, we learn it.
But have you ever thought, what if this is all just a dream? And we're just waiting in line to wake up? And most people think I'm insane. Once you realize that all the shit you used to care so much about just keeps you a prisoner of your own mind.
V&O, what you know? We back, man. How y'all doing, man? We went impromptu. I have a special guest today. This will be my the show for the week, and I'm so happy to have a person that I've known for 20 years? 30 years. Am I really that old? That I've known since I was about 12, 13 years old.
Yes.
A phenomenal person, the mother of my sister's best friend growing up, but still, we are ordinary people with extraordinary stories. She has an extraordinary story. She has so many accomplishments. I'll always have to get my stuff out of the way, my advertisements. So let me go ahead and do it like this. Shout out, man, to Heritage Real Estate. Thank you, Heritage Real Estate. Hey, yo, if you're looking for a home and not just a house, contact Miss Benika Henderson at 219-613-3968, man. She will get you right. Shout out to Heritage Real Estate for the space that we're in right now. Thank you to Heritage for giving us this space to do this production. And shout out to my guys, man, over there at Shop Talk, man. They will be on tonight. They are on 5 days a week. They broadcast on My Radio Chicago, Support District Radio. Hey, download the app, SDR, and you can tune into tons of phenomenal people. Marley Caprice, that was here, 3 weeks ago? She's on SDR. My Radio Chicago is also not just My Radio Chicago no more. It's also My Radio Houston. Shout out to My Radio Houston, to Mr. Shot Blizzy, man. They are kicking off My Radio Houston right now as we speak. In the Houston area, they took a bunch of talent down there with them, and they are doing it big. So y'all check them out now, man, before they blow up. Show up before they blow up. Yeah, man. So that's my stuff that I had to get out of the way. I gotta give love, man. Gotta give love. Man, I'm so happy to have you, Benika. Benika, this is, man, what a diverse show that the V&O is. I know that's kind of self-serving, but last week I had on my guy Vicious, Vicious has been a rapper.
Okay.
He's an owner of a club, and I just still see it doesn't matter who you are. It's these special qualities that people have that I connect with, and then these people that I connect with, I always got to bring them on and show love to them, and we want to hear their stories. We're ordinary people with extraordinary stories. Speaking of extraordinary stories, where does yours start?
Well, my extraordinary story starts with just born and raised in Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
I'm proud to be a native of Gary, Indiana, and presently I'm living in Schererville, Indiana.
Okay.
But just to be a part of I would say the foundation, my foundation coming from Gary and attending Gary Public Schools,
Okay.
which was the #1 school corporation in the United States of America
Yeah,
at
there
one
you go.
time. And I actually taught there.
Really? Okay.
So I'm proud of that. The
What
heritage.
school did you are you from the Bell? Because we got a lot of
Oh
GI people there
yes,
too.
yes.
She's a Roosevelt
Oh
native,
yeah,
y'all. You know they didn't let people tear. They didn't
yes.
let nobody tear down Roosevelt for the longest.
No, the
Yeah,
belt don't melt.
yeah,
That's
right,
our famous saying.
right. They didn't want to let Fravel go, and then
Nope.
they got Roosevelt. Roosevelt, man, them folks that went to Velt, they was like, no, you can't tear it down. They
No,
fought it.
no.
They fought
Thank
it.
God. I'm glad
Yeah,
they did,
yeah,
because we have to still do something. So many
yeah,
of us
yeah,
from Gary Roosevelt. In
yeah.
fact, my class of 74, we will be celebrating 50 years
Are you
next year.
serious?
Yes, and I'm
Wow,
working with
wow.
uh, actually Ernestine.
Okay,
McKinley is heading us up this year.
okay,
So we're looking forward to having a fantastic time
okay.
next year.
Okay, nice, nice. So you
Mhm.
went from Roosevelt to well, of course you attended college, Doctor Dr.
Oh,
Darlene.
yeah.
Where did
I do
you
have a lot of history with
Yeah.
that. Well, I started off with a band scholarship at Mississippi Valley State University.
Okay.
I went there for 1 year and I got sick and returned back home. But God is just a good God. He
Yeah.
continues to work in your life and the different journeys that He takes us on.
Mhm.
And so then I ended up attending actually Control Data in Chicago. This is where I got my computer background from
Okay.
as a computer operator at
Okay.
Sargent and Lundy Engineers.
Okay.
So I ended up attending there. And I returned back to school because my mother, Darlene Adamson, was an educator, a teacher.
Okay.
And so she told my sister and I that we needed to be teachers too.
Yeah.
And my sister Miriam Tango went on to be an administrator.
Okay.
But so I ended up going back to school and I finished. I actually went to Calumet College
Okay.
there and got a degree in management,
Wow.
a
Okay.
bachelor's of science in management.
Okay.
And then I went to Cambridge College where I got a master's in education,
Okay.
G. Moore Theological Institute. I actually got my doctorate in theology.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. And how did like where did how long did that take you? I know you said you got sick and you came
Oh,
home, like, but what do you think your educational journey, like, how many years do you have in your educational journey yourself?
how many years in
Yeah.
my educational journey?
How do
I
you-
would say so. I started off at 18 going to Mississippi Valley State
uh-huh.
University. And, there were spaces and times
Yeah,
in there
yeah, because
when I
life.
wasn't.
Yeah,
Thank you. Life
yeah,
happened,
because life.
marriage happened,
Yeah,
children. I have
yeah,
4 beautiful children,
yeah,
grown children, and grandchildren. Now I'm so proud of all of them,
yeah.
and they're doing very well. So I would say my educational span, and still, you know what? I'm still, it seems like school is forever for me. I said,
Forever,
Lord,
yeah.
I said, am I going to be in school forever, a professional student
Right,
forever? Even in my
right.
church, I attend Advancing Christ Kingdom Global Ministries.
Okay,
And so the first lady there, Prophetess Sherry Randolph, had a school of the prophets. So I went to school there, and I very had a wonderful time there learning about the prophetic realm because I really love that.
okay.
So, in fact, she said, Dr. Henderson, I want to teach you. And so I started laughing because I said, I guess education just never ends for me.
Yeah,
My mother spoke into my life about getting a doctorate.
yeah,
She said, darling, I believe you'll get your doctorate one day.
yeah,
And I thought that was far-fetched.
yeah,
But God started opening doors and paving that way for that to happen. So I would say I'm still in school. In fact,
yeah,
with God, He says, learn of me.
yeah.
So you're forever learning with God.
Ever learning,
He wants
yeah,
us to be humble like
yeah,
little children
yeah.
and, stay humble and stay teachable.
And so what I was gonna say to you as you were talking, what I hear is like I'm an iron worker in Chicago, and I have guys that work under me. I'm the boss.
Mhm. Oh,
I have
okay.
a boss, but I'm the boss where I'm at
Okay.
my job site. But for people to be teachable is something special for you because there's a humility that goes into that for you to still be able to learn because people get to a certain age. There's some folks is 45 and they ain't letting nobody teach them. They don't care who it is. I've been on this earth for
Yeah.
this such and such a time. So there is a humility in it, and you deserve honor
Oh,
for being teachable, for being
teachable.
and the higher in age you go. And I'm not saying you don't look old, you just been on the earth for a
I'm getting
while.
there. I'm getting
Yeah,
there.
you've been on the earth for a while, and to still have a teachable spirit and still wanting to learn.
Yes.
It's kudos to you.
So
Kudos to
so
you.
much
Yeah.
to learn. And it's just I love learning.
Yeah.
So whenever, in fact, when I'm the founder of Higher Institute of Arts and Technology, and I'm teaching there in the technology center there, and I'm learning even in there, developing just what's going to happen, what's bringing in. We hope to bring in some technology people. I think the principal is Jessica Ackland, and she's going to have a technology fair in February, I think she said. So looking forward to that, and just learning even more about technology, which is constantly evolving. When we're sleeping, technology is changing.
Yeah,
You
oh,
wake up the
gosh.
next morning, your
Oh.
phone has a new update,
Oh.
new software, and things are going on. So technology is the catalyst in which this world is evolving.
Yeah.
So, I tell people that some people, I think my age and maybe older, they're kind of afraid of it. So I said, get on board or you'll be left behind.
You just got me with that. I want to say three things that I want to say. First of all, we about to talk about Hyatt, because that's why I love this show. You said you're going impromptu. I say, yeah, I'm going impromptu because you feed me what you want to talk about. Okay. You brought up Hyatt, and I really want to talk about Hyatt because you founded a school.
Yes.
She founded a school, an educational institute founded.
With some workers beautiful boy people that helped us to find to be the founders of the first charter school in Maryville, Indiana. So I'm excited about it. The board president there is Charlotte Johnson, doing an excellent job at this time. I stated the principal is Jessica Ackland. And you know what? It's just a joy to see what God can do if you have faith, if you operate in faith. I didn't know anything about opening a charter school.
Yeah.
So, each day was a day of faith, of asking the Lord what I needed.
Yeah.
And then the Lord opening the doors spontaneously.
Yeah.
As I'm on my way.
You did your Noah. I mean, like, you did your Noah thing, because it's like you had never done that before. First, I want to say, man, did y'all hear what she just said? You ain't never too old. I just shared with her. I said, if I share this link to Facebook with you, I said, could you put it on your face? She said, yeah. She looked like, yeah, what you think? Yeah, I can do it. But you know how many people I talk to that's my age that I'm like, hey, if I share this link to Facebook with you, they like, nah, I can't do that. Don't even share it with me. So shout out to you for even being able to do that. That's number two. I forgot the third thing, but let's talk more about Hyatt. You started a school, and I was able to actually kind of somewhat peek in on the journey, because my mom was she played a small role in it.
Small role. Yeah. Your mother Deborah was a powerful role. I was so thankful for and your dad both. Deborah and Claude. Just being there. I mean, it took 7 years for the school to open. So just for us to stay on board that long and wait, because it was such a wait. And we had our high moments, our low moments. And you know what? I thank God for just having people that stayed on the journey with me, because they didn't have to. It started off with just a thought, an idea. In fact, Charlotte and I, we were driving in a car going by a building, and we were just saying it'd be nice to open a school one day. And so I was telling, actually beginning at Mrs. Jean Preston, Mom Preston living room, and we were sitting in her living room, and we started praying, and she was telling me about how to get started, the why, when, what, where, and all of that for a public meeting. And she was helping me with that, and we prayed at her house every Tuesday. We had interfaith prayer power pool. So the foundation of this school is prayer, and I thank God for that, because when you have prayer as the foundation, that's a sure foundation that it will last, it will stay. God will make sure that it's established as well. But I thank God, because I had my sister Miriam Tangle. She had her part in Milwaukee when we were traveling, trying to see the different schools, because the school is of arts. Specialty is arts and technology. So arts, it's through the arts that students actually develop their learning styles. And technology, because really my grandsons inspired me. They're 17 years old now, and they were so gifted in technology. 4 years, they were just 4, I think it was 3 or 4 when I first got started on the journey. And so I would watch them, and they knew how to operate all the gadgets, and I bought a big Apple, and they could get on there and do all types of things. And I was like, wow, they have technological minds.
Yeah.
I found out they're born this way. This is why little babies have iPads and they're crying if the parents take them away from them.
Right.
But their mind, in fact, in the technology center at Hyatt today, they actually work better on their Chromebooks than they do actually writing. Like we went to school learning how to write on pencil with our pencils and paper, where they're typing. And this is what, and everybody has technological gadgets. The children have iPhones, the babies have iPads. So, the whole world is just on this page of technology. I'm excited about it, though. I love it.
I remembered the third thing I was going to say. Like, how many waves of technology have you been through? Like, we went from, let's just talk, I mean, if you just talk about music, you want to talk about, was it 8-tracks, records, CDs? Like, whenever you looked around, and then it got to a point where it was like, I just remember in my childhood, it was like, we had, I grew up I came in with, I forgot tapes. So I came in with tapes. It was years and years and years. Then we got CDs. Then it was years and years and years. And then things moved to digital to where everything was on the computer now. Everything, you load. But I mean, now technology moves. It's like 1 or 2 years, boom, we got something new. A year, we got something new. And it's like, I just learned how to do this. So I really thank you for continuing your journey to educate yourself. And even seeing in these young kids, because a lot of people will just look at these young kids like, boy, put that iPad down, or they just give it to them, to entertain them, but they not really thinking about like, man, these kids are really talented in this. Like, you have an educator's eye.
And it's so exciting. In fact, my daughter Jasmine Henderson, she's a graphic designer. She's the best in the West, in the world to me, and she's great with it. But she was telling me how we were getting ready, CDs were getting ready to go out. And I just thought CDs would be around forever.
Yeah, right.
I'm from the age of 8-track.
So you started with 8-tracks?
That was back, big 8-tracks and then cassettes. And then, migrating to the CDs and today, like you said, digital. And I said, well, what are we going to do, Jazz? I call it Jazz. I said, because I just couldn't imagine not having the CDs anymore. Right. And now, everything is digital. Like you said, you have your the drives that you have. That
you got your phone.
Your phone, really. Your phone.
Everything is on your phone.
Thank you. Everything is on our phone. Now, it's a walking computer. Your phone, everybody is walking around with a computer. Bill Gates, when he first talked about a computer in everybody's home, they thought that he was crazy. I actually visited his center.
Really?
And yes. And they was like, what? And so I love computers even before they became popular. I wanted to actually go to school at that time, but it really wasn't popular. But the Lord guided me to control data, which got me into computers. So then when the Lord led me back to teach in the schools, and Gloria Smith said, we were at Kennedy King School, and she used to see me with my laptop, and she said, "What is that Darlene's carrying around in that black bag?" Because I always was loving computers, laptops. I operated the big mainframes. And Sargent and Lundy engineers, they designed the nuclear plants, and so I was working there for about 7 years.
Where was that at?
Chicago, at the Mid-Continental Plaza.
Okay.
From the Palmer House in Chicago. I worked there for 7 years. So having 4 children, Darnisha, her husband is Ty, Terrence, Benika,
who Heritage Real Estate.
Heritage Real Estate. So proud of Benika. She's doing great things. And then my son, Jamar Booker T. Henderson, doing well in Arlington, Virginia. He has his own business, and he does a lot of HR work and this counseling. He's doing quite a few things. And Jasmine, my last one, my graphic designer, is with Mael, the company that's...
She's with Mael?
Mael.
She done blew up.
Yes.
She was a great company.
A great company.
I just went to Atlanta 2 weeks ago, and it was at a music festival. And so lo and behold, now this is Atlanta. This is Black LA.
Black LA.
That's what Atlanta is now. Really? Yeah, that's what Atlanta is now. Atlanta is popping, and so Black all of these music stars are here. So lo and behold, they handed out bags, to women with hair care products, it's a Mayel bag. And I'm like,
Maya
Mayel
blew up.
just when she was in Cherville, she just started right around the
Right.
corner.
I'm telling you how I saw a little. Jasmine was working in Chicago. She needed to be closer to home, so I saw a little like a job opportunity. I think with Maya, I said, Jas, you need to apply for this. And who would have thought that Maya would blow up? And Jasmine is so humble that a lot of her billboards would be as we're driving down 94 going to Chicago. She would say, that's my billboard there. It was like, what?
She was designing the
Oh, yeah,
billboards?
she
Really?
designs
Wow.
them. New York
Wow.
Times Center, she
Wow.
had one there. And just so proud of her work. Is when she does anything, it makes people take a second look and say, wow.
Yeah.
She's but I put her in front of a computer at the age of 4 or 5. And she loved it. That was her gift. I didn't know that her gift would be that great.
Yeah.
And when she got to be in the 5th grade, I think it was Corral paint they had at that time.
Okay.
And she said, look, Mommy, look what I did. And she drew the Girl Scout, the little Girl Scout in her uniform with a cookie sheet and all the other little things in the background. And she drew the Girl Scout so intricate. It was like with the, the emblems and all of that, the cookie sheet. And I couldn't believe that she did it. I said, well, erase that and start all over again. So I saw that she had a gift. And she's really developed that gift. So I'm just so excited. And my Darnisha does a lot of graphic I think graphic work is what she helped me with my book. We'll talk about that later. She helped me with that book. But, just to have gifted children, I'm just so proud of them all in their different capacities, the different things that they're doing.
Yeah, you have created some amazing human beings.
When my husband, Booker T. Henderson, he gets some credit there.
Yeah, right, yeah. Shout out to Mr. Henderson. Right? You didn't do it by yourself, man.
I didn't do it by myself. And I want to throw some names out there that they might be watching, too, for Hyatt, too, because Carol King, my girlfriend we were friends since kindergarten. She might be watching. And she was always with me, and we've always been together. And she stayed in there with Hyatt, and just to go back and walk through to see it still standing there and thriving. And she said, Darlene, she said, Hyatt is still a baby, 7 years going on 8 years being open. And I said, you're right. She said, schools that's been open 50 some years or more, and they're going through a lot of challenges and different things. And I said, you're right. So it made me kind of laugh because, when you're a visionary, you see everything, the finished product, and so that's how I see it. It was just birth. Through me, God gave me the vision to see it. So I'm in my mind, I want to see it, that finished product, but it takes time. Just like you think about all the businesses, KFC and all of them, they started off with a dream. And just like you starting off with your business. And then you start perfecting it, or you want to see it perfected. You want to see it get to that finished product, no matter what.
How did you? When I did this, it's times that I wanted to quit. For a time, I did take a little break. Were there times that you wanted to quit in that journey?
Oh yeah. In fact, the dream died. It did die.
Yeah.
The dream did die because it took so long. In fact, we got our first charter from Ball State University.
Shout out to Ball State.
But we weren't able to open,
Really?
so for some reason it just wasn't able to open. So then it took 7 years. So of course, when it didn't open, the Lord would send people in your life to help keep the dream alive. So this is Dr. Jill Carm actually found me on LinkedIn. This was like as the school was dormant, wasn't too much going on. We have been turned down. We went to Indiana Charter School Board. We turned down about 3 or 4 times, I believe. And they was like, darling, we just want the school to be successful. We want it to open. And, in fact, Dr. Jill Carn said, we'll be back here as many times as it takes. And I was like, as many times? Lord, I just want one time. And so the 2, the second year, the third year, and I'm so proud of my board to stay. Linda Romo, my mother was on the advisory board, Darlene Adamson. Maurice Preston Sr. was a advisory board. They didn't even live
I
to
know
see,
Maurice Preston. I gotta get.
his sons.
I know
But
it's. Oh, you senior. Okay.
Senior was with me,
Okay.
and that taught me about marketing.
Okay.
And so he said, Darlene, that school will open when God says so.
Yeah.
And he was right, but he and my mother passed the year that the school opened.
Are you serious?
But
Wow.
I want to tell you how God kept the school open, even with her. She said that somebody sent her an article about the school, and she said, you might be interested in this. So she lived about 5 minutes away from me in Cherville. So she was a lawyer. She had finished law school. And so she was with higher learning. She was over colleges.
Yeah.
So she was able to teach me so much.
Wow.
Oh, you're talking about being in school. She said, here, darling, you need to learn this. You need to do this. You need to do this. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. And I mean, I learned and she would tell me, you did pretty good there, Darlene,
Yeah.
And so I was just thankful for the learning that took place. I learned, in fact, Erica Coleman, which is good friend, Brandy, she was an angel that was sent by Hyatt to Hyatt to help us along the way as a consultant. And she stayed with us until we opened.
Wow,
If it wasn't, Erica was like an angel.
She is such a phenomenal person.
And so gifted.
Yeah, gifted.
And very
man.
gifted in many facets. And she was able to help keep us encouraged and teach us and train us and those down moments too. We had so many down moments. And I remember when I was in I think about the fourth time maybe that we were going for the charter. Her name was Dr. Mia Jones. I was at a prayer breakfast. And so they were saying, how many of you all have dreams and things that you would like to do? So I said, well, I dreamed that I would open a charter school one day. And so I was kind of real low at that time. So she said, I'll help you. So, so I had to laugh about that because the way that she came into my life is actually through Marcia. And Marcia is the wife of Calvin White, who was also on the board with us a long time on that journey. And so she actually told Dr. Mia Jones about us. And then she kind of, I think, was knowing that we would need her. But she had the capacity in writing grants to actually make our charter come alive. So we actually wrote the charter, but to actually make it an action, as they say. Yes, because we were writing it on paper.
You wrote the rough draft of like writing a book. You wrote the you needed an editor.
But they're ready to make put it on TV.
Yeah, right.
And so she had that gift to be able to do that. Wow. And so when sure enough, when she came on and did her part, we got the charter. 7 years later.
You know when something's a God thing. First of all, you get 7. That's a
7.
That's the number. But it's a God thing when these people are finding you. It's meant to be when this started as a prayer in the car. You said, I think you said y'all was praying in the car.
Just riding around.
Yeah, riding around the car praying
and looking at a building, and we said one day we'll open up a school. And then I was in my bed. Let me tell you about Dr. Mia Jones, because you had to have a letter of interest. And I was so down and out and discouraged. She said, do you want me to do the letter of interest for you? I was like, yes, because I just wasn't feeling up to it.
Right.
Like, I don't think it's going to ever open.
Yeah.
Is it going to ever open? Yeah. But everything has a time and a season. The Bible said there's a purpose.
And it builds strength, and it builds courage, and it's all so many things that you probably got out of that in that 7-year
character.
Character, yeah.
Patience.
Oh, God.
I wasn't good with.
Oh, God.
Today, I'm better. Patience possess ye your soul. That's in the Bible. I said, Darlene, patience possess ye my soul. Because I want things, even if I'm in a test and a trial, I'm like, I want that over yesterday.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Not today, yesterday.
Oh yeah, because who want to sit in the fire?
Nobody.
Nobody want to sit in the fire. I don't even know if I ask God. I don't ask God for patience anymore. I want it. But I just know when to ask it. But I remember asking God for patience, and boy, I asked God for wisdom, and I said the world got lonely. I started getting lonely. It got lonely because you started realizing, like, wait a minute. But it got lonely. But how did you feel from concept? When you stepped into a building that was a prayer, how did you feel? Like, did you cry? Were you overwhelmed with emotion?
Yes, I truly was. In fact, when I got the keys, and I remember a friend, Pat Bell, she said, "Oh, Darlene," she said, come on in. You know, she was trying to help me to feel comfortable. I think, Carol, it looks so big. We're in this, it used to be St. Mark School. I think I'm saying that right. Catholic, it was a Catholic school. And it's on 57th and Harrison. And it's a whole campus now. God is so good. The Hyatt owns the whole campus. At first, we only were renting the school.
Okay.
But when I went up there in the school, it looked so big. And I was, like you said, full of emotions and kind of like, wow, I can't believe that we're here.
Yeah.
Because had so many, it was such a fight, you know. Anytime you're trying to do anything for God, there will be great opposition. Not just opposition, but great opposition. And so I knew that God, in fact, I got a prophetic word from Dr. Mildred C. Harris. She's a powerful pioneer, prophetic, mighty, mighty, powerful woman of God. She's CEO for the housing in Chicago. And so she spoke into my life 20 years actually before that I would open the school. And I was like, I just took it as a grain of salt, you know. And I was like, wow, really? You know, and I was with the Gary Educators for Christ at that time. And Rita Byron just had me laughing. She said, Darlene, you tried to get us interested in doing this. You know, when God has something, he's birthed it in you, you're trying to do it. So I did bring computers into the classroom at Kennedy King. I was able to do that from Chicago. I said, we got to get the computers in the classroom, kind of going back.
Wow.
And so, and I knew the kids would want to learn.
And what year is this?
This was, I would say, Jasmine was about 4 years old. So this is about early 90s.
Early 90s. You was a
1990s.
pioneer. People didn't want that. We were still using a big fat number 2 pencil.
Yeah, they really weren't on board like that. And so they were bringing the computer labs into the schools a little bit at that time. But I knew that computers would be just a sure, I would say, the tool for the children to want to learn, take learning at another level, you know, a different capacity, and put that passion and that, you know, and you think about technology, you know, what would it be without arts? You know, the arts. And, you know, you just look at how the television, how that from the dinosaur now to the big screens and thin as almost your cell phone.
This. My dad worked in computers, and this would fill 2 football stadiums. The amount of information when he worked in computer, when you were working in Chicago, that mainframe computer, how big was that mainframe computer?
Almost a room.
Yeah.
Maybe big as this room we're in right now.
Yeah.
And we used to mount tapes.
You used to mount what?
Tapes. That's how the data was on it.
Like the film almost? Like the, oh, are you serious? Wow.
It was really something.
Wow.
And they used to have the air on because it had to be cold for these machines to work. And then, they print up so much. The engineers, they would have to have all of this data that they had to have to make, you know, to design the nuclear plants. That's what they were doing back then, designing the nuclear plants.
Wow.
And so I was working there as a computer operator.
Wow.
And I learned, and my desire for computers just continued to expand. And I still love them today, you know. I could lay in the bed and just do all types of things on your phone. You don't have to sit up at a computer desk, you know, to work. You could work right there in your bed on your phone right now, you know.
I never, you know, you opened my mind to something new. I guess I never really thought of technology and the arts colliding. But you're right, like who drew this up? Who came up with this concept for the camera to be here, for it to be square like this, for it to have these rounded edges? It is a art concept that comes to life.
And the color.
The colors.
Just think about all the arts. You know, if you wouldn't like it if it was just black and white. You know, the beauty of it, all the graphics, you know, it comes alive. In fact, you could carry it everywhere you go. You could watch TV. I just went to Dubai, and that was such an experience. And so each one of us, as we're sitting in the airplane, we had our own private computer screen where you could just, whatever you desired to do, you could do. Watch your movies, or if you wanted to listen to the news, or if you wanted to visit some other countries as you were there, whatever you desired to do, learn more about Dubai, or, you know, you could just, everybody had that with the headphones.
I got you.
With the headphones, everybody had that right there. So You could just do whatever you wanted to do. The high tech was just wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I loved every moment. Just on the plane, it was a 13-hour ride.
Wow.
But and we slept through a lot of it.
Yeah.
But and they fed you all through the night. So
Oh,
that
really?
was fun. And I would say Dubai has left the United States behind.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
technology
yeah.
is at such
I've heard.
a level.
Yeah.
It's the tallest building.
Yeah, 140 some stories.
Mhm.
Look, I've been on an 80-story building. I don't want to be on a 140-story building. The highest I've been, well, I've been in the Sears Tower, but building it open air, I don't want to be on an open air 140-story building. I was on an open air 80-story building where I was on the edge looking down.
Really? No,
Yeah, that's
haven't
the
been
highest
like
I've
that.
been, open air.
Oh, okay. I
But
haven't
yeah,
been open air.
yeah. But I mean, just 140 stories. Even if you closed in,
I'm telling you, you're right. Because
Yeah.
just for us to look at it,
yeah,
closed in, that was something. And
yeah.
it's so beautiful.
That's
though, And
amazing. That's
technology,
amazing.
they showed you the different stages that they had to deal, actually build that building
Yeah.
so that it would be there. And so Dubai has only developed over that. I think they said the last 15 years
Yeah.
that you will see. And so when you're just driving down the expressway in your cars, it's like you're looking at a movie.
Really?
The billboards are just so colorful.
Really?
And as you're driving on each side, you're just looking like at a movie. And the buildings are so beautiful.
I bet. Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
I
it's
bet.
so beautiful.
Bollywood is coming up, and I don't know if they're the epicenter for Bollywood. Have you ever seen a Bollywood movie, like how colorful it is and how you got to check it out? Because if you like to take Bollywood, is like, it's a play off of Hollywood, but it's like the Indian.
Oh,
It's like Indian. They're cultural movies.
okay.
But like
Cultural
I mean, I walked into a vape store and they were watching one, and I was like, what is that? Because the colors and all it's the sights. I was like, this kills any Steven Spielberg movie, like what I'm watching right here. Who is like, once we get a hold of that, we don't really get shown that as much.
No,
You know
we
what I
don't.
mean? But yeah, because you love technology and you don't really know too much about it. You got to check out a
No.
Bollywood
Okay,
movie.
I
You would
will
love
check
it.
that
You
out.
would love it.
Okay.
Let's move into Dr. Darlene Adamson. You have a doctorate in theology. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
So you told me you've been ministering for most of your life.
Well, my adult life,
Yeah.
I started off really knowing that I was called into the ministry at Logan Park Church. That's where my journey of my spiritual life got enhanced.
Okay.
And that's when I was asking the Lord, what was my calling?
Yeah.
What was my purpose in
Mhm.
life?
Mhm.
And so I have a healing ministry. That's what I
Yeah.
have. But I always knew that I love the word. In fact, we would just study. My girlfriend Pat Bell, when I first got saved, we would just go buy all these books and study every Saturday. We have the tables would be stacked, and we would just study in the Word. We were hungry for it. I talk about it in my book Dibble, actually.
Okay.
So the doctorate that happened too, as I was just on my way doing some things. Dr. Carlton, and he actually had classes in the school at IUN. That's where he.
Okay.
And so, but it's funny how God would just have you. Well, in fact, we know our lives are already written in books in heaven. People might not know that your whole life is already written down before you actually were formed in your mother's womb.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your life is already prepared. God has already prepared our lives, and then we just have to walk it out, live it out.
Yeah.
And you can only do that through Christ, So
she preaching, y'all. Come on.
I think and the best degree that I have is my doctorate in theology.
Yeah.
It's the best. The Lord said that's the best.
Yeah. How different is it to be, you have your spiritual side, but actually to get the information, like you now studying it. It's a difference between like you have to be spiritual, but then to like sit down and study it. Did you ever find any of it? It was schoolwork. Did you ever find any of it to be just tedious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. When you're doing your theses and the doctorate and all of that, a lot of work. Sometimes you have that discipline. You have to have that discipline to want to complete. Because a lot of people start things in life, but they don't complete them.
Yeah.
So to complete, what your destiny is. We all have a destiny in life, and so ordained by God from heaven. And so if you spend that time with God, He will open up to you your life and how He desires to have preeminence in our lives. And so, there are ups and downs, tests and trials that you were talking about. those fiery tests and trials, they come to make you strong.
Yeah.
They want you to become better,
Yeah.
even though some people become bitter.
Yeah.
bitter.
Yeah.
I could have got that way with Hyatt taking so long
Yeah.
to open, because
Mhm.
I was very discouraged.
Yeah.
I cried about an ocean of tears
Yeah, I
through
bet.
the process
I
too.
bet. I could only imagine. I mean, when I don't get my way with this, I mean, the computer was acting up, and I'm ready. I'm ready. But you talking about a 7-year journey? Like that's you. Were you doing your doctorate at the time of that Hyatt, or you already had your doctorate at the time that Hyatt was?
I think I already had the
You
doctorate.
already had. So you just
I
like
think
hard stuff,
so.
huh?
I
You just
think.
love.
No, the
You
door,
are.
believe it or not, no, I know. But I had a hard life.
Yeah.
It started off pretty tough
Yeah.
as a little bitty girl,
Yeah.
but God has our lives so planned out.
Yeah.
And so and I did have to ask God. In fact, I told the Lord I thought He made a mistake, the way that I came up,
Yeah.
because I had a lot of tests and trials.
Yeah.
I said, God, I think you put me in the wrong family, in the wrong house. I think you made a mistake,
Yeah. Yeah.
But God doesn't make any mistakes. He's
Yeah.
the all powerful, all wise God
Yeah.
who knows all. He knows our beginning from the end.
Yeah.
And I used, sometimes you have to put on those big girl panties and
Yeah.
you boys.
Yeah. Big boys underwear
Big boy,
boxes. Yeah. Right.
and walk it out,
Mhm.
and you might, sometimes we might have temper tantrums
Mhm.
and cry. I know I've had some, and God is not in pity parties. I
Yeah.
tell you, I've had some
Mm-mm.
pity parties,
Mm-mm.
and God does not like us having pity
Mm-mm.
parties, because He knows what He's doing in our lives. We
Yeah.
have to trust Him to know that He knows, and just don't ever give up. The doctorate was there to, I think, to help me with Hyatt, the
Okay. Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
And then, and the funny thing about in my life journey, even as a teacher, I actually bought two book plans to write a book one day.
Really.
I knew I would write a book one day. I didn't
Yeah.
know when,
Yeah.
and so I actually bought two plans accidentally. One was with Zulon and Zillibris.
Okay.
They both were excellent. I didn't even know it until I was getting ready to write the books, and I was calling one, and they said, "That's not us. That's Zillibris." So then I found out I have two plans already paid for. I paid for them in advance, just to
Really?
show you how God is.
Really?
And the theology, I love it. Just ordained at my church.
Really? Oh, congratulations. Yeah.
As an elder, my husband and I, under Apostle James and Prophetess Sharon Randolph.
Okay.
That was last week.
Oh.
Beautiful. I love being in the ministry there.
Yeah.
And I have my own ministry that I have, JICBS,
Okay.
which stands for Jesus is Coming Back Soon.
Hey. Okay.
A ministry that I've been doing for quite a while.
Okay.
It's, I think, been around like 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah.
So, and I just know God wants the word to get out there, and I'm over the evangelism at Acom, believing God for miracle signs and wonders, and seeking God for this direction and for what He wants for such a time as this. Revival is needed in the earth. Revival. We all need to be revived,
Man.
so that we can get ready for when
Yeah.
the Lord comes back,
Yeah.
because He's coming back
Yeah.
soon. Jesus
Yeah.
is coming
Pray
back
for me, because
soon.
I'm just going through a period in life, and so at times in this period in life, I ain't acting right. I ain't gonna lie, but I still treat human beings with decency and respect.
Well,
It's
that's
just,
nice.
yeah, but
Treat people good.
yeah, yeah.
Like you want to be treated.
Exactly, and that's what I believe, the golden rule.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about your early life. Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to talk
well,
about your?
yes. Well, my dad, was kind of wounded. His mother died when he was a little boy, so he was kind of wounded, and I can't tell you why it really actually happened that way, but actually, and I think it was just from the enemy. He tried to kill me a couple of times.
Wow, a couple of times.
Yes, and
Wow.
and my mother said, "Well, just pray that He likes you one day. He'll like you one day." So I did. I had to pray that prayer.
Oh my
And
God.
so, but before, the beautiful part about it all is, before he passed, I would spend time with him every day. I was getting ready to have my daughter Darnisha. He said, "Darling, you have boys; they're more fun." I got to spend a lot of time with him, and God was healing me before He was going to take him home. And he actually gave his heart to the Lord with me that day. People went from doors to doors, talking about Jesus. They asked him, they said, if you left today, do you know if you would go to heaven? And he said, no, I don't know. So they prayed with him, the sinner's man's prayer. And so I'm just excited, even through that journey of that and going through that rough time. And my mother being an evangelist herself and a deaconess, teaching me how to pray very early. She sent me to God very early and said, pray that he'll like you one day, Darlene. So I did, so I started off with a relationship with God very, very early. And, God was just teaching me a lot. And it wasn't easy. Sometimes it seemed like God was just far, far, far away. But he was always there, and so watching and teaching and showing me different things. So, better is the ending of a thing than the beginning. So I know that I look forward to seeing him in heaven with my mother one day.
You got me. I'm an emotional person, and you almost have me choked up over here. I
I'm
ain't gonna
kind of
let
getting
no.
choked up too.
I ain't let
That's why I said first I wasn't gonna talk about it because I said
but
sometimes you could, you go back and you talk about things, and then you could still feel the emotions.
Yeah, you are an extraordinary person. I'm about to tell you why, and you probably don't even notice that you did it. And it's something that I keyed in with people that I like to be around now. I've met some pretty terrible people that have affected my life. Yeah, I have, and I'm sure we all have. But it seems like God is thankfully ridding me of people that are just somewhat terrible as people, and God help them. I just can't find myself around them. What I key in on is what you just did. You probably don't even notice that you did it, and you did it with grace, and you did it uh with conviction. But you just talked about somebody that tried to kill you, but you started out by saying, you know it was my dad and he went through this time in life. That's such a graceful statement, because you are talking about somebody, and then you said a couple of times, somebody that tried to take your life a couple of times, but you were covering him with grace in the midst of you started it out with that. And I key in on that because that makes me want to be around those people.
You're gonna bring tears in my eyes now. See, I don't like
and
to
now
cry.
I'm about to start.
And you got me on live now.
Yeah, no.
But I learned that, wounded people wound other people. So he was wounded, and he used to even sometimes be as he was sleeping, crying out for his mother. So and let me show you how awesome that is, because I would go out ministering to the homeless, the people living on the streets. And so I met a man out there one time, and I said, "Why are you out here living out here like this?" And he said, "My mother died when I was a little boy." And God said, "That's your father." He helped me to see that was my father. So my father was able to work and take care of us and do all of that in spite of that pain. Just think, his mother died in childbirth. And so just one day his mother was there, and the next, never returned.
Yeah.
So, they didn't have help like they do today.
Yeah. I gotta say, man, especially at this time in my life, I don't think people realize the grace. Like, I don't think people know what grace is. As human beings, I don't think we understand the depths of God's grace. To love you so much. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
To love
we
you
doing
so
it together.
yeah.
God
To
does
love you
us.
so much, to actually care about knowing that you have feelings against somebody that are pretty much can be valid feelings. Like I think it would be okay to say I don't hate him, but I dislike him. But in order, people don't. God will give you commandments to do things, but we don't always understand that when He gives these commandments, He don't just say go out and do this and just leave you hanging. He sent you out, and you were able to meet somebody and correlate it back in your mind to your father in order to actually have grace on him, the God-given grace that you can say, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand that he wasn't a horrible human being. Like, that maybe he wasn't as bad as I thought he was. But for you to be able to, that's God's grace for you to be able to say, he tried to kill me a couple times, but I see him in heaven. Look, somebody tried to kill me a couple times. Lord, you're going to have to help me because I ain't going to see you. You going to hell. But like this, that's what folks, because that's in our human and our fleshly heart. That's what we want to have. We want bad things to happen to people
But
that do
when they
bad
hurt
things
you,
to us.
yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I didn't have a good understanding about it. Look, it took years for me to get a good understanding,
Yeah.
even though, and God didn't ever let me hate them.
Yeah.
And I give God that credit, because
Yeah.
I could have, I really could have, disliked them, and but God always kept, I guess, a tenderness in my heart for him.
Yeah.
And because he was funny, he used to tap dance, and
Mhm.
he was an artist. My
Yeah.
daddy could draw beautiful, and he actually he would build houses and things like that. He actually lifted up our house to put a basement up under it. I'm trying to make it a home now, for a group home for people with special needs.
Wow.
I'm always everywhere thinking about different things I want to
Yeah.
do. Keep the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
It needs a lot of help right now,
Yeah.
renovation. Benika, I'm hoping she'll help me with that
And if we
capacity.
know some people, man, that see this, man, you better put your talent to good use and tap in on some of these blessings and help her fix this house. We got talents. We got talents and abilities.
Help
Yeah,
me.
we got talents and abilities out here, G. Y'all better get in and tap in with this. If you got a talent or ability, you better tap in and help her fix this house, because I tell you what, man, nothing beats blessings from God. Like,
I know,
like
that's
nothing
right.
beats.
But
No,
God,
we talked about trials. You have to go through trials. But man, you ever got a blessing that you know you ain't deserve?
Yes.
Not to say we
The
deserve
mercy,
any, but
like you said, grace and mercy.
Yeah, yeah.
Blessed are the merciful. That's one of my good ones, for they shall receive mercy. So I try to have mercy.
Man, me too.
So when I need some mercy,
Me too.
I can get my dose
That's
of
that
it.
petty mercy. You be treating people right that you know don't
Yeah.
deserve to be treated right, because you're like,
Yeah.
God, I need some mercy. Let me go ahead and treat these horrible people.
I'm
And give
telling
some
you,
grace to these
look,
people.
I needed mercy just yesterday. I
Yeah.
was in my car, and I was taking my girlfriend home, and my car was just, it's a new car, an Infinity, but it was having problems. Ploop, 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 ploop. And I'm trying to figure out why this new car is acting like this.
Right.
I'm trying to take her home.
Yeah.
So by the time I take her home and drop her off, I get to the corner, and the intersection there, the car just stops, locks.
What?
And I'm at a diagonal place, and it's dark, and I'm all by myself, and I'm like, oh God. I said, and I started, these men started to get out. One was on the bike, and this other one was in the car, and so they were trying to help me. And so they said, "Do you need help?" And I was so not scared. I was scared. Okay, they said
Right.
and I was like, no,
Yeah.
yes, look, I need help. They said,
please don't rob me.
I know. I was very afraid. Look, I was very afraid.
Right.
And then they said, well, we just want to move your car out the middle of the street, because it was dark and you couldn't even see it.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, thank you. And so I was still trying to start it up. Still, it wasn't starting up. Took a long time. As I was sitting there, and they was like, well, try to put it in reverse. Try to put it in neutral so we could push you over. And I mean, it took a good little while. And so finally, I was able to start it up and back the car up. I said, thank you, Jesus. And when I said, thank you, Jesus, they said, thank you, Jesus. Both of them, thank you, Jesus. I said, oh, y'all my angels.
Right?
I said, you all are my angels. Right. And they were so nice. God
y'all
bless
the ones
y'all.
that push the car,
Felt,
right? God bless you.
They helped
man,
me.
that's that mercy
scared.
that you,
mercy.
that's that, because
it could have been, worse. It didn't have to end like that.
People don't realize, they see people that's doing good in life and they act like sometimes people ain't got problems. Like, yo, she pushing an Infinity, y'all, and then locked up on her, like
locked up, shut down, right in the wrong place. Right. Dark nighttime, right. Deserted street.
Right. I'm gonna have to buy this book since I keep dropping it.
Just trying to talk to you.
Right, you ain't lying, because I read the back of it. I was like, I need to get this.
Devil.
Let's talk about it. Since it keep falling, we talked about your theology. We went back to your early story. Let's jump back forward to Dibble. When did you write this?
2000, right, the pandemic. I think 2020.
This got to be great.
You're right, the pandemic. In fact, I had to have my book signing on Facebook Live.
Oh no, virtual book signing.
Virtual book signing.
No.
Yes, I did. It was fun.
No.
The boy, life would show you some things, won't it?
Yeah.
And so the Lord actually woke me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Finish this book. Sometimes I would be flying, and God would give me little nuggets for it. And the title is called Dibble.
Okay, yeah, Dibble.
Do it blissfully before leaving Earth. It's an acronym. I
Oh,
like
wow.
acronyms like Hyatt.
Wow.
And so,
I'm trying to show these comments. People have been commenting.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
My cousin tapped in, Bonique tapped in, Mr. Henderson tapped in. So yeah, he
Okay.
said great book and good and interesting read.
Okay.
Yeah. So what does it stand for again? Do it.
Do it blissfully before leaving Earth.
Wow.
7 steps to ensure that you make heaven your home. You
Look
make
at
your
that.
reservation for your final destination.
Yeah.
It's the roadmap for eternal life. My daughter Jasmine designed the book cover for me
Really?
there.
Oh wow.
And so,
Wow. And that's what happens when you got a talented family. You keep it in house, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
That's where can they find this at?
it's on Amazon right now.
Okay.
Walmart. It's
You in Walmart?
Barnes and Noble. Yeah, I'm
Let's
on
let me get
Walmart
$1.
too. Barnes and
That's great,
Noble.
right? Wow,
It's
wow.
a lot of different sites. In fact, I actually it's in it's out of the country too. It's in some of the other places where they don't speak English.
Really?
So
Really?
it's available out there, and Amazon is right now wants me to invest in it being a #1 bestseller. But I really believe, and I want Oprah to choose this book. Look, I want
Look,
Oprah to choose. I want it to be Oprah's pick
look.
and be on Oprah's show
I
one day.
have
That's my dream.
you
I
and
had
it's
a
gonna
dream.
happen. I have a friend. A lot has happened in life, but just this story is just a great story. She was running against in Indiana on the Democratic ticket in Indiana, a Democrat running
Oh,
against what was our vice president's name under Trump? Pence.
Pence.
She was running against his brother, black female in Southern Indiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah, black female in Southern Indiana running on a Democratic ticket
A Democratic
against
ticket.
the vice
Wow.
president's brother.
The vice president.
She didn't have a dying chance of winning.
No, she didn't.
No,
No,
but
the
when she
odds.
she did say she said she lived in Muncie. And
Oh,
I
okay.
know them because I went to school in Muncie into
Oh.
a school that was sponsored by Ball State. I went to the
I
Indiana
remember
Academy.
Bonica
Yeah.
telling me about
And
this.
so she said, man, I really need some star power. I need somebody to help push this. And she prayed to God that she would meet David Letterman. And she walks into a coffee house, and lo and behold, who's walking out but David Letterman.
Oh,
And
wow.
on top of that, so she, of course, since this came to life, she had to talk to him. So she
Yeah.
walked up to him and she said, hey, I'm running against the vice president's brother, Greg Pence. And she said, I would just love if you supported my campaign. He said, I want you to beat that SOB so bad. He was a classic David Letterman. But so he pulls out a wad of money out of his pocket and tries to give it to her. She's like, I cannot take that.
Oh,
money has to go through proper channels.
Yeah.
So what he did was he actually went to their house. David Letterman threw a fundraising event at their home in Muncie.
Oh,
David
my
Letterman.
goodness.
So what I'm
Really?
telling you is, when you meet Oprah, I just want to be there.
I believe. Okay, it's going to happen soon.
I just want to show up. Just invite me and be like, well,
I will.
I manifested it. So
I will. I sent her my book already.
You
too.
did? Oh yeah, it's going.
I sent it to her some time ago, and I believe because I actually had a vision that I actually met her, and she asked me, "And what is it, Darlene, that you have need of?" This is what she asked me, and I didn't know what to say. This was way back then.
Oprah said this
in my vision. That's
really?
why I had a vision, and the Lord said, "Well, you need to know what to say," you know. And so I didn't know, but I have a lot of things to say today.
Right.
That are things I want to do for the kingdom.
Yeah.
Things I like to do for people.
I got something to tell you. This is my gift, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when I told you, you said, "How long is this gonna be?" And I said, "It's gonna be." I said, "You don't have to worry." I said, "I'll bring it out," and you said, "Okay," because I'd be tired. You have talked and talked and talked. We coming on an hour right now.
Oh,
I told you.
Oh, see,
I told you.
I
told you I'll bring it out of people, but
do.
we don't have to stop. I want you to tell us. You told us a little bit about Dibble. You told us where we could get it from.
Yes.
What else? You have a study guide?
Yes, and I have a study guide. My daughter, Darnisha Morris, she actually is the one who helped to make this happen. She said she almost had a heart attack.
Oh.
Really? Because I was telling her that everything has to be in excellence and perfection, and we were just having a lot of technical problems.
Yeah.
But she actually Darnisha did design this cover.
Mm.
So I'm so thankful for my daughters being so gifted in graphics and all of that.
Man,
And
keep
this
it
is the
in-house.
study guide that we released
that's
actually
so
last
nice.
year, but it's on Amazon too.
Really?
You can find this. It goes with Dibble,
Okay.
my book.
Is that in Walmart too?
This one is on Amazon,
Okay.
but I believe it will be.
Yeah, it will be.
By
It
faith.
will be. Yeah, by faith. Well, they got this one there, so why
Yeah,
not have that one?
and let me tell you how
Right.
I wanted my book to be in Walmart. And so one night I was sleeping, the Lord would say, Go see what Dibble is doing, Darlene. You know, go check it out. And that's how I found out it was in Walmart. I Googled it, and then I was
You
walking.
didn't know?
No, I didn't even know. And I was in the store. I told my girlfriend Gloria, I said, "Girl, I said I'm in Walmart. I said my book is at Walmart online. You know, I said God is so good, He's so faithful. Because I said, Lord, I want my book, and I speak to Dibble. I said, I want you to be in the all these places that books, you know, online, everywhere, in the stores. God can make anything happen if we only believe.
Man.
That's what I say. He
Man.
said, if you only believe, and even though it might take a long, long time, it might not happen in the time that we want things to happen, but it's perfect timing with God.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Man, that's a perfect place to end.
All right.
That's a perfect place to end. Man,
All
V
right.
and O. We are ordinary people with extraordinary stories. This is a replay right here. I'm playing this all over again. I'm going to watch this myself so I can cry again.
I know.
Like this,
Both of us.
right? We sit here boo-hooing.
We need some tissue. You better get a box of
Right,
tissue next time.
Right. Man, this has been amazing.
It's fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so, man, shout out again, man. Shout out to Heritage. Before we go, I do want to ask.
The school is Higher Institute of Arts and Technology. Okay. But you're talking about Heritage Real Estate, Bonica.
Yeah, Heritage.
Yes,
yeah, because
Heritage
what I
Estate.
wanted to ask
Heritage
you was, I saw in your bio that you also, is Heritage a thing amongst your family?
Yeah, we love that. Yes, because we have Heritage homes.
Man, yeah.
And the school was Heritage before it became Higher. So yes, we love Heritage. In fact, Bonica said that she she decided to make her business Heritage.
Yeah.
Because the school was Heritage.
Right. When you said you were CEO of Heritage, I was like, Bonica been lying all this time.
That's Bonica's Heritage. Because we got so many Heritage. Because I had Heritage Institute too.
Yeah, okay.
We love that.
Man, that's a powerful word when you and Mr. Booker, I mean you and Mr. Henderson have created a heritage. With your with your kids and then your grandkids. Like, I'm amazed to see 17, man, I remember them when they was born.
Yeah,
man, somebody getting old. I'm not, but and they 17 now.
The twins are 17.
Wow.
And Darian's 28. I can't imagine that time went by. Yes, they're playing.
Wait a minute. Hold on one second.
28.
28.
If I don't have it wrong, I hope I'm right. Darian is 28. I believe at that time is going by so fast.
Yes, it is.
We don't like to talk about age too
much. We for real, because it's like I don't feel old. You don't seem like you don't feel, you still doing it. You still got dreams talking about stuff. Yeah, and you gonna fulfill them too. A lot
of dreams.
But man, it's just time does, and like when you start hearing about like other people's lives, you're like, wait a minute, how you was just born 28.
Yeah, I remember you very young.
Yeah, which is amazing, man. But thank you for opening up for me. I did have that question. Hey y'all, this is a straight replay, man. If you just started tuning in, please go back and watch this and grab a box of tissues, because this has been amazing. This is why I do the V&O, for these ordinary people with extraordinary stories. Stories like this will change somebody's life.
And I want to say, Bonica, thank you so much, because she encouraged me to come and do this. She said, Mom, I want you to come over here to Heritage Real Estate. So thank you, Bonica, too.
Yeah,
and thank you, Ron, so much.
You're
doing an excellent job here.
Thank you. And thank you. So thank you for sitting down with me. Thank you. I mean, I really appreciate this. I needed this. I needed this.
And for your beautiful parents too.
I needed this. I do. My mom on every thumbnail. My mom right now is she's going through chemo. She has cancer. First stage, beginning stages. And I believe that she's gonna come out of it. But on every
I have to connect with her.
She is. Just pray for her. But she's doing. I mean, look, my mom encourages me. I'll be having down days. I'm like, you just had chemo today. You can't sit here and encourage me. I'm supposed to be encouraging you, but that's God
Deborah.
for you.
Yes,
That's God
right.
for you.
That is God. For
Yeah,
you.
and I thank God for my parents. Rest in peace to my dad, biological dad that I bear his name. But I have two amazing parents still alive that are just great people, and I really love them. Thank you for highlighting them. Y'all, we over
Thank
hour
you.
now.
All right, we over
Thank you.
hour.
You all good.
Thank you.
You all good. Thank you so much once again. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in, man. And like I said, this is a straight replay right here, man. Y'all go back and watch it over again. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining us. Shout out again to Heritage Real Estate at that 7:00 hour, man. Y'all tune in to Facebook, Shop Talk 7 podcast, man. They gonna be doing it here soon. Hey, y'all, thanks again.
But have you ever thought, what if this is all just a dream? And we're just waiting in line to wake up? And most people think I'm insane. Once you realize that all the shit you used to care so much about just keeps you a prisoner of your own mind.